Welcome back. Thank you for checking out this bonus edition of the 12 Kyle podcast. I'm 12 Kyle. Check this out. I got a story for you. Actually, it's about an article I came across. A lot of times I'm just gliding through the internet, not necessarily looking for something specific to read or anything like that, just something to catch my eye. And I happened to come across this article that talks about getting caught. Now, I know what you're thinking. Getting caught how? Well, this is about getting caught in the act of having sex, right? So, to me, I don't know about y'all. To me, the idea or the whole concept of getting caught having sex is funny. Like, it's always been mad funny. And I speak as a married man, right? My wife and I have 4 kids, which is amazing because we've only had sex once, but that's beside the point. What I want to tell you guys is one of the things that they don't tell you about having kids is how you navigate your intimacy. How do you get it? How do you get it in without them getting in your way? Right. So this article talks about um, where these people actually share their stories of getting caught. And after I stopped laughing at some of the stories that were shared, I was like, you know what? This will be a dope podcast to share with the folks. Um, I can honestly say that at at the time of this recording, we've never been caught. At least not that I know of. Like, it got me to thinking when I read the article, like, did I ever catch my parents? I don't think I ever caught my parents. I think they were pretty slick. But if I look back on it, I do remember times where, as an adult, now that I think about it, like they got it in. Like they got it in, and then we came in the room and uh it was just a different vibe or whatever. Like it's little things that you can kind of pick up on. I mean the idea or the thought of your parents having sex is like, yeah. But you know that it had to have happened because your ass is here, right? So I don't know. I'm not gonna reveal anything on this podcast because my kids don't listen to this podcast. Well, sometimes they do, but they're not gonna listen to this episode. And if they do, so what? But uh it made me think about, like I said, my parents, and I'm sure you guys have probably had an experience or two where you caught your parents in the act, or maybe you suspected, or maybe you just what we used to call back in the day cock block. Cock block is 80s term, 80s 90s term, meaning that you got in the way of somebody getting some. So yeah, children are the ultimate cock blockers. Uh, it's funny sometimes to be on Twitter and you'll see people. In fact, I just saw. I should have kept that tweet. I just saw a tweet the other day, like 2 days ago, that asked, like when single people, when they have company come over and they have sex or whatever, do they wait until the kids are gone or wait until the kids go to sleep? And it was, kind of split down the middle. Some people were like, no, I don't have strangers coming to my house, or I don't have, boyfriends or girlfriends or whatever coming to my house. And then others like, yeah, we get it in once, the kids go to sleep, once we're sure that the kids go to sleep, or the kid goes to sleep. But always interesting in that aspect. But yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share a few stories from this article. There's quite a few, but I picked out a couple and give you my thoughts on it. Let's see where we're gonna start. Oh, let's start right here. This one's called Puppy Party Crasher, and it reads, I quote, "Our baby is 10 months old, so he can't really bust us yet. But we did get busted by our emotionally needy and super protective rescue dog who somehow got out of his crate and busted in our room and proceeded to bark at my husband until he gave up and got off. Only thing is, he didn't bust, sadly for him. The embarrassing part is our neighbor was giving us a hard time the next day about how crazy the dog sounded and asking what spooked him. Close quote. Now, listen, I don't have a dog. I grew up in a house with dogs. Um, and I mean, I know some of you are dog owners. I love dogs. Obviously, the man's best friend. I will say this: the dog has no business in your bed. When we had dogs, I mean, we there was a couple of times we had house dogs, but for the most part, my dog stayed outside. But there's no way that I'm alive. If even if at this stage of the game, if I got a dog, there's no way the dog is getting in my bed. Like there's some shit you just can't do. And not only not getting in my bed, but if we getting it in, hey man, you better take your ass over there, way over there. um, but yeah, barking and dude ain't even but. Come on, man, what kind of shit is that? I would have got up, kicked the dog out of the room, and got back in. You know what I mean? But it's whatever. um, oh, here's another one. Next story. It's called Toddler Interrupter. And it reads, quote, my husband put our toddler down for a nap, and we decided to go for a little afternoon delight. We got frisky in the shower and finished in the bed. We were naked and wet and in the middle of some very grown up activities, and we heard a giggle and discovered that our daughter had woken up, gotten out of her crib, and was sitting in our bed. Yikes. Close quote. Yeah. um toddlers are toddlers a little bit different. You really have to kind of navigate around toddlers because you know they are there just definitely to cock block. Like they ain't trying to, they're not trying. I mean, and it's the thing about it is that at that age they're so curious, like they can feel the vibe going on and they can know what's happening, and then like it's just something within them. It's kind of hard to put into words, but they will definitely come and get in the way. um and especially when they get to a certain age, and a lot of people, particularly when you're married, they tell you uh not to let your kids sleep in your bed. And I stand on that. That's one of the worst things that you can do. Not so much as because it's a bad idea, but it's just so hard to kick them out of the bed once they get, like old enough to. Because I mean, think about it. If you're breastfeeding, okay, cool. I mean, pop it in, roll over, whatever, whatever. I mean, do your thing, right? But once the kid is 3 or 4, I mean, like, come on, man, you can't. You got your own damn suite down the hallway. um we did a pretty good job of getting the kids out of the bed, but it funny story. Like it was our oldest Dion. He was like determined. Like he wanted to sleep with us, and he wanted to sleep in the middle of us. Like he ain't want to sleep on the side or sleep. He wanted to be in between us. And at the time we just had him. So man, I remember one night I put I don't think we did anything that night, but I remember putting him down and put him in his crib and went back to the room and laid down, and I might have been asleep 10 minutes. Next thing I heard doop. And the next thing I know, he came and jumped into bed. So yeah, toddlers are relentless when it comes to getting into bed. Um, Next story. It's called Need a Charge. And it reads, quote, my sons are total video game zombies. So we thought we'd be safe to try to have a daytime quickie. Yeah, we were wrong. Apparently, the batteries died on the controllers, and it was such an emergency that they both burst into the room to tell us about it. They saw a whole lot more than they expected and were horrified. There were legit tears. Close quote. Yeah, I can see how that could happen. because these kids nowadays are so dependent upon technology and everything. Like they think the world is coming to an end if they can't get the Wi-Fi to go. So I can only imagine, you know, playing with a controller that has batteries, which you came up in my day, we ain't need no batteries, man. There was no such thing as batteries. Shout out to the Atari 2600 joystick. Um, yeah, because I mean everything plugged in, so I could see how you know the kids would be upset about that. But listen, you gotta lock the door. I mean, who doesn't lock the door? I know some of the parents who are listening to this episode. Y'all feel me on it. Lock your door. If you're gonna get something, if you're gonna do something in the daytime, you can do something at night. Lock the door. Because here's the thing: kids don't. They don't. They're like they used to just walking in rooms. Like they don't even think because they're not thinking on that level. So nah, man, lock the door. I lock it. Don't just close it because if you close it, they're still gonna walk right in. That's probably why we've never been caught either, too. Doors get locked around this piece. But that's another story for another day. Oh, this one's a good one. Mother-in-law mortification. That's the title. What's worse? Your mother-in-law walking in or your husband going down on you in the laundry room on Easter Sunday, or the moments afterwards when she gives you a side eye and says, quote, well, I raised him better than to do that with anyone during daytime hours. Close quote. I wanted to die. Yeah. Easter Sunday, I get it. I get it. You want to get it in. Ain't nothing wrong with that at all. I mean, that's the Lord's day. You know what I'm saying? But in the laundry room, hey, listen, I'm a huge proponent of doing it in every room. But come on, man. Easter Sunday. I mean, but you know what? When you got to get it in, you got to get it in. Right. Oh, here's another one. This one's called Tech Fail. This one sounds familiar. And it reads, quote, oh boy, does it count getting caught in the act if you never really actually got to have sex? Well, mine was this. My husband sent me a super dirty email with a triple X rated subject line. The email came in a notification with a visible subject line, and it popped up while I was sharing my screen with my whole office so everyone saw exactly what he was in the mood for. Total work embarrassment. Close quote. Man, listen, let me give y'all a little bit of advice, particularly for those of you who don't work in an office, you work from home. Hey, man, clear. I don't know why you would put anything on your work computer, but clear all of that stuff, particularly before you go into meetings, before you have to share screens, because when you share a screen, everything that's on your screen, or if you have like dual monitors or three monitors, all of that stuff shows up, or at least some of it does. So, and not that I'm ever looking for this, but like when I'm at work and people share their screens, like I'm interested to see like what other tabs you got open. Like you watching, you got ESPN open, you watching the game while you're at work, or Amazon is a pretty popular one. A lot of times when some of my coworkers, when they share their screens and meetings and stuff, you see the little Amazon tab pulled up. And I mean, it's cool. I mean, listen, I'm not going to tell you not to order stuff on Amazon while on work hours, because I do it too. But if I do it, it's on my phone, Jack. Why would I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Like, I don't look up anything. The only thing that I look up on my computer is Google. Everything else is like work related websites. I'm not, no, you check my browser, bro. I'm not, nah. And I'm definitely not, you're not sending me a dirty email to my work email address. Come on, bro. You wonder how people get jammed up on stuff like that. Like, come on. And I mean, yeah, granted, it was his wife, but at the same time, come on. Let's be a little smarter than that, people. Um, what else? Oh, uh, this one's called Teenager Trauma, and it reads, "It was our anniversary, so we both took the day off to be together. We were having sex in our room when the door opened, totally being noisy and loud. Then both of our phones started buzzing over and over and over and over again. Turns out our 15-year-old was homesick from school and was sending us text messages like, stop, OMG, I can hear you." Hard to say who was more embarrassed, her or us. Close quote. Now, wait a minute. How is your 15-year-old at home and you don't know that your 15-year-old is at home sick? I mean, like, I don't know. That could have never happened in my house because if I'm homesick, my mama know I'm home. In fact, she's probably coming to pick me up from school. Or at the very least, if she left the house, she knows that I'm there sick. But yeah, that's you. Y'all just dumb for that. Here's another. This one's called Pit Stop. Quote, "Here's a tip. If you're going to be daring and give your husband some road head to spice things up for a long road trip, don't count on your 3-year-old staying asleep." The 3-year-old pops up and says, quote, "Are you okay, mommy?" Close quote. This was an instant killer for the mood, and it was a sign to get back to driving. Yeah, yeah. I mean, getting head in the whip, not crashing it, that's one thing. Getting head in the whip and 3-year-old seeing it, not the move. Not the move at all. Here's another one. This one's called Picture This. Quote, "I wasn't quite caught in the act, but I'm still embarrassed. I let my mom have my phone so she could look at some family pictures. And she and my dad were swiping and laughing at the cute pictures. Then the laughing stopped, and my dad stomped out of the room." Yep, totally forgot we had some pictures that we snapped during sex on there. My mom swiped right into some dirty, dirty stuff. Close quote. Yeah, man. Listen. Um don't ever, 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 forever, ever give someone your phone. Before you give someone your phone, make sure that there are no pictures in the phone. Period. Period. Um, I ain't gonna talk about that. We had a situation happen to a family member who decided to, after we took some family pictures, decided to hand over their phone, and everybody was swiping, looking at the pictures, and there was probably about 4 or 5 people swiping, looking at the pictures, and one of the pictures was a dick pic. All I heard was everybody say, "Whoa!" Man, that was hilarious. Oh my God, he was so embarrassed. He was so embarrassed. Shout out to him. Luckily, I wasn't in the group that was looking at the phone. Because I would have been like, man, what the hell? He'll kill me if he ever hears this. But I didn't say his name. Anyway, okay, last one. This one's called Making Babies. And it reads, quote, "My 7-year-old son walked in on my wife and I one night, which was awkward, of course. But the next day I tried to talk to him and ask him if he wanted to ask any questions. And he said, quote, 'No, I know you guys were just making babies,' which was hilarious as we are lesbians." Damn. I guess the 7-year-old knows a little bit more than you think he does. Yeah, man. I had to share this, man. Quick bonus episode, man, because these things I think we can all relate to. Again, like, you know, for those of you who listening who aren't married yet, or looking to be married and don't have any kids, word to the wise. That is something that you're gonna have to navigate. Um, Even as you get older and your kids get older, it requires even more navigation. I'll just put it like that. Because Lord knows we have to navigate. But I think it's important. I think it's good that you keep the spice going in your sex life and in the bedroom. Um, and just understand this: doors do have handles, and they do have locks. Use them. That's going to do it for me. Thank you for checking out this bonus edition of the 12 Kyle podcast. I'm your boy, 12 Kyle. I'll catch you guys next time. 5,000.